Welcome to the cockpit. My name's Ryan and I'll be your pilot tonight. I am oh so excited to talk to you boys and girls. We got a whole lot to get into. Training camp. Got to see Richie twice. Green Bean came up. O'Leary came out. It was a blast this past week, so very much looking forward to get into it. We got some Sean Payton throwing shade at the Jets news. Nathaniel Hackett, Aaron Rodgers responds. Salah responds. Dalvin Cook shows up at training camp. You got some Joe Tippmann stuff coming out today. Maybe a little bit of Devontae Adams rumblings, possibly in the future. We'll get into all those rumors and more on today's episode of the Monday Call-In Show. So thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button if you're just hopping in here. We're going to do the same way we do it every week. We're going to go to the comment questions first. So I'll talk to you guys in the chat that are hanging out here for the first half hour. After that, we're going to open up the phone lines. You guys can call in, make your voices heard. We can talk about whatever you'd like to talk about surrounding the New York Jets. These topics right here are some quick hitters that I threw up there, if you'd like to discuss them. I'm going to put 3 minutes on the clock when you call in, and after 3 minutes...
Listen, you're out of here!
That's right. You're out of here! Get ejected from the cockpit. So I'm very, very much excited to be hanging out with you guys. Let's see. Where are you guys looking right now? How are you guys looking right now? Got a bunch of you in the chat. I see a fungus among us. What's up, dude? Click the like button. Steven says, I interpret that last update as he ain't signing with us. Everybody in panic now. So this is talking about Dalvin Cook and the comment made by, I believe it was his agent. Is that right? We're talking a little bit about him leaving without a contract, I think. Clifford S. says, thought you and Green Bean were having a sleepover. So did I. Green Bean bailed on me. Had to see family or something. Nah, it's all right. How do you know we didn't have a sleepover? We actually slept under the bleachers at One Jets Drive. O'Leary brought us a blanket. Richie brought us some warm milk. And the four of us had a little powwow. It was great. Duncan says, Vegas says, plus 250 that Ryan's daughter makes an appearance tonight. I don't think that's going to happen. Usually once she goes down to bed at like 7:30, she's down till 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:30 in the morning. Kid's a great sleeper. So fingers crossed we don't have to bring Shay onto the screen tonight. Dane O says, sorry, Ryan, you got to earn the like with what you have to say. Haha, JJ. You know what? That's all right. I don't mind earning a like. Don't like something just because I say you like it. I want you to like it because you do like it. Fierce Grim says almost 27,000 subs. Yeah, it's nice. So I take a break usually from like middle of May through most of July usually. I started back on my video content creation about a week and a half. So it's finally starting to kind of ramp back up. It takes a little bit to go on to hop into trending and everything. But thank you. Yes. Inching ever so closer to that 30K mark. TJ. What do you think Cook's asking price is? We heard rumors that it was like $8 million. I don't think anyone's going to do that for him. I still get the feeling that a lot of what he's doing is to try and get more money out of Miami. Like, as much as I want to see Dalvin Cook here, it does feel like you're adding a weapon to an already stockpiled room of running backs, especially because Bam Knight's looking pretty good. Excited to see what we get out of Izzy, and it seems like Brees is like running pretty strong. Who knows? What do I think he's gonna get though? I think he ends up getting like, $5 million base with maybe like $2 million incentive. I think that would make sense. Carmelo says Sean Payton is a punk. Yeah, he's a real jackwagon. It was funny. We were at camp, so Richie, Matt, and Green Bean were a little upset with me because I did not preempt them on what I was about to do at the beginning of training camp. And, Hackett's walking around the circle around the outside of the field. And I just shout out. I stand up. It's like this fans seating area was only like maybe half full at the time. And I stand up. I was like, Sean Payton's a scrub. Like at the top of my lungs, it's so clear. And Hackett's walking away. He just gives me the hand in the air. It was actually like two fingers, kind of like that. I was like, we got your back, Hack. Don't you worry about it. No one's going to throw shade at you on our watch. Hank G says, how was the Three Musketeers, you, Green Bean, O'Leary reunion? It was great. And Richie was there too. It was literally all four of us at training camp. And it was a friggin' blast. It was so much fun. It's cool seeing so all of us were sitting right next to each other and we're all doing different filming and tweets and stuff like that. And literally all the updates that were getting ripped apart, retweeted and sent out. We got to find the Let's Talk Jets guys. I don't think Tyson was there. I got to reach out to Tyson again. I see them always posting, but it's got to be primetime, I would think. I don't really know primetime as well. Primetime. If you're going to any of the training camps this weekend, or Tyson, if either of you guys are watching, would love to meet up with you. Richie and I are going to be at both of them. That's the plan, I think. We got a ticket for each one. Brian King says, Super Bowl. Jack talks Jets. Do you believe Breece Hall should be running back one if we sign Dalvin? Yes, absolutely. Maybe you slow him into, coming in, Breece, that is. But I would, the goal for Breece would be to have him at full strength at the tail end of the season. So midway point through the end of the year. Daniel Murphy, Ryan, who was the big spoon, you or Green Bean? Oh, I'm a little spoon all day. Green Bean's a bigger guy. So is O'Leary. O'Leary's massive. He's so big. I'd be like one of those child spoons if I was next to them. At least Richie's around my height. Richie and I are pretty close in size. Every inch counts. Ain't that the truth? Oh, sorry. Didn't see these down here. Hey, J-Boy. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, Rodgers taking that pay cut tells free agents this is a ring chase, not chase the biggest bad cook. Gonna take less to get a ring. I think if he's coming here, you're going to see that contract reflected as such. If he winds up not signing here, maybe he's taking less to go to Miami. I do think he still wants to be in Miami, but I think he did like the atmosphere. I mean, him walking out to the chants of Jets and Dalvin Cook was so cool to see. And I think, I don't know how you could be at that practice and not feel the energy. That was one of the most fun training. It was the most fun training camp I've ever been at, with O'Leary, Green Bean, and Richie, and the fans, and Dalvin Cook comes out, and just everything from top to bottom was just really, really cool. I see Jonathan Moore in there. He says, Rye, who's going to get Garrett in our fantasy football league? So John and I are in a fantasy football league. And I think hopefully we find two more players. I think we're reaching out to two other people to try and get this. So we got a full 12-person league. But John, who's going to get Garrett Wilson? Oh, dude, I'm totally not going to draft him at some point at all. Definitely not. So definitely, that's what sucks when you do fantasy sports with your friends. They know your stuff. I did this with my guys at work, and they're watching me on stream while we're picking usually, because they're jerks. They always pick a day that I'm actually on air, so they can watch me talk about my friggin' draft picks, and then they adjust their picks as such. But who's gonna get Garrett? It's probably gonna be one of you, me, or Bear. It's gonna be one of the three of us, if I had to guess, because I think we're the three only Jet fans in that league. But hopefully, one of us does. I don't want to see friggin' Chris or Dan or Chris, Dan, Rich. Who else is a Giant fan? There's a few Giant fans in there. If they get Garrett, I'm gonna be a little upset. Duncan, how many running backs, fullbacks, tight ends, and wide receivers are we keeping on the 53? I think it's gonna be 6 wide receivers, 4 tight ends, 4 running backs. Is that right? I think that's right. I think that's ultimately what it's going to shake out to be. Steven says, any chance we look for a tackle or guard at the trade deadline? Maybe Bakhtiari. Guy seems mad at the Packers all the time. So I'm going to make a video about this probably tonight or tomorrow about some comments that I heard today. And Bakhtiari is definitely going to be someone to keep an eye on. If I were the Packers, I would not trade him, though. You have a young quarterback. Why would you move him? Now, I do think his salary cap hit next year is like $40 million. So that would probably be the reason. Like maybe you extend him for a few more years with Rodgers. And I would say there's potential. Like if I forget the tackle's name that's sitting behind him right now. I don't think the Packers are fully ready for him to take over. But if, let's say, a season is going like severely sideways and they think they could get, I don't know, second round pick out of the Jets for Bakhtiari, and the Jets were like, hey, our offensive line is hurting right now. Because I would say that right now the Jets' offensive line is the biggest concern for me, because it seems like we're kind of shifting players around a lot, and I don't really know how that's ultimately going to. I don't know how it's going to play out. I'm nervous. I'm definitely nervous. Kaz says, "What's up, Ryan? Dude, you are clearly the on the tube. The on the tube. I don't know what that means. But thanks. You're on the tube, too." Rico the Pup says, "You don't realize how tall Matt is until you see him towering over you like the Jolly Green Giant. He is enormous." The first time I met Matt, I thought Matt was just like an average sized dude. He's like 6'5". What was it? Unathletic 225. I forget his combine. I love his combine video. If you guys haven't seen his combine video, you need to see it. Ryan King says, "Richie's friend looked like Sam Darnold." He definitely did. I'm looking at him. I was like, why do I think you look familiar? Yuka Lake says, "Primetime is a grump." They have their live now. Well, if any of you guys are watching Let's Talk Jets Radio, ask them if they're going to camp on Saturday or Sunday. Ryan wants to see him. You say hi. Ryan and Richie will be there. Would love to link up with them. I did reach out to Tyson back when the first tickets went on sale to try and see if he wanted to link up. Would love to touch base with those guys. They're awesome. They're really cool. Joseph Marazulella. I'm going to call you Mozzarella. Mozzarella comes in, says, and was Cook agent meeting, we will... What? The heck? I don't know if that's a sentence. Sorry, Mozzarella. J-Boy hops in. Says, "Ryan, how many franchise records does this team break this season? I think we definitely get the passing yardage record, the passing touchdown record. I don't know if we're going to get the yardage record. As long as Garrett stays healthy, I think the passing record, was it 1,500 yards and 12 touchdowns? I think that's going to be close. I do think, what did he have, 1,200 last year with Zach? I think 1,500 is definitely doable. I would say outside of that, I'd have to have the records in front of me. I don't know. I can't imagine we're going to hit many rushing ones this year. It feels like we want to do a lot of the running back by committee. So maybe there's like some sort of like all-purpose rushing thing, but I don't know if that's true. I don't think we have the offensive line to necessarily ground and pound that way. Yeah, I'd have to look at what else. But I think the single season passing records, I do think we wind up beating those. See Crossfire in here. What's up, Crossfire? He says, "Ryan, Crossfire." Very cool. Very cool. We're going to be doing a giveaway with Crossfire. Very excited. I think, Crossfire, you can let me know if you want me to announce it now or if you want to wait. We could wait to announce it if you want. But Crossfire's the man. He's hooking someone up with something. Kaz comes in, says, "So I live in Florida, and I've got tickets to the preseason game Tampa Bay. Do you think they'll play Rodgers?" No shot. I don't think Rodgers plays at all in the preseason. Maybe a drive versus because we're playing the Giants, right? What is it? The Bucks, the Giants, the Panthers, and the Browns. I think those are our four. I think they might play a little bit versus the Giants, but I don't know if Rodgers is going to play at all. Patrick says, "Tried to get tickets for Sunday, failed. Guess I got to wait till the Chargers game." So funny thing, I had 3 people at work. It was me and 2 other people. I was like, "All right, get your phones out, get on Ticketmaster right now. We're going to try and get you tickets for these 2 days." And like all of us are mashing the button, like we're in the lobby 10 minutes early and gone. I had the tickets. I had 4 tickets literally on my phone and it said proceed to checkout or like proceed. It's like, we're holding your tickets for, here's the countdown timer. And the countdown timer's going and I'm like, I'm hitting proceed and nothing's going. I was like, "Yo, Richie, I didn't get it." Because I had Richie try to get the Saturday. I was trying to get the Sunday. I was like, "Richie, I screwed up. I don't know what happened, but like I was here." I couldn't get the tickets. He's like, "Oh, don't worry, I got tickets. You're good." So luckily, Richie came through in the clutch. Zachary Burner says, JJ breaks the sack record. Let's get crazy. Wow, yeah. Could you imagine if he winds up getting 22 and a half sacks? So he's got to get 23? That'd be wild. Yeah, Ryder and Talon, what's up? He says, Ryan, I was sitting behind you, and your pizza head was a great day. Sitting behind you and your pizza head. It was a great day. Yes, we got to meet Ryder and Talon. Whoop. And bam, this is the pizza head I donned for training camp. Lots of fun. No, really nice people. We met so many people at camp this weekend, and it was so much fun. It was a really, really good time. We're going to have to try and organize that more officially in the future. It was more so oh, wow, we all got tickets. Let's go. I had 4 tickets. One of my buddies came with me, and I was like, Richie, you got to try and find a ticket. You got to come out with us. It's a good time. Good time. Mark says, what's up, Ryan? For a long time, teams that face us, they will have to choose their poison. What do they want to face first, our defense or our offense? Go Jets, baby. That's really cool. Yeah, you go out to the coin flip. They're like, oh, man, do we let the Jets defense set the tone on us right now? Or do we take give them the ball and force them to maybe earlier in the season, allowing us to start off on offense might be a wise move, because I feel like our defense is going to be humming on all cylinders. Our offense right now is definitely not 100%. I mean, it doesn't help that Garrett's not currently on the field, but yeah, it's definitely a where was I going with this? I'm losing my train of thought. I don't know. Pick your poison. I think going against the Jets defense would be tough. I'll say that. Lambda says, please keep Rodgers out of the Snoopy Bowl. Yeah, I don't want to see Rodgers in the preseason at all. If he goes down in a preseason game, everyone loses their job. Sorry. Every fan loses their friggin' mind. JD says, how much time do you think the Jets wait for Cook before pivoting to another running back? It was out there that they wanted to draft Gibbs. So I don't think the Jets are going to be in any sort of rush. I think they're absolutely fine not signing a running back. I think it's one of their stronger positions. And I think as the offensive line seems a little bit more concerning, it might sort of lend itself to not trying to spend a lot of money on a running back. I don't know. I think we're going to go through a few games. Honestly, I don't think you have to bring Cook in until maybe he plays one preseason game or something along those lines. I feel like running back translates so well in the NFL. We see it all the time in college running backs, and Cook has been in the league, and we know what Cook does well, and I would imagine if we were putting him in, we would put him in plays that he would understand and be able to smooth out that transition. But good question. Crossfire says, you can do it now or tomorrow. It doesn't matter to me. Let's do it tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow. Tell everyone then. It's really cool. Sandman comes in and says, why aren't we looking at linebacker position? We look weak. We could use depth. Miles Jack or Kyle Van Noy would be nice. I think there's going to be a linebacker addition at some point. I think they're going to wait until a little bit later once players start getting cut. That's another one of those positions that I don't feel super great about, but I do like Sherwood. It seems like they're high on him. I feel so much better about safety, by the way. Tony Adams looks legit. And then you got Whitehead across from him, so I'm on board with this. Linebacker definitely seems a little more concerning for me at this point. Jonathan says, flying from the UK for a Jets game this season. Can't wait. Any tips to get to MetLife from Manhattan? I live in New Jersey, so I have a very easy commute to the stadium. I don't know enough about Manhattan and how to get there. I know there is a train from, I believe it's Secaucus, that comes right up to MetLife. It is a cluster, trying to leave MetLife because everyone's trying to get on these same few trains. I've never done it myself, so maybe someone in the chat can chime in there. Jerome says Sean Payton should stop worrying about the Jets and worry about his own sorry team. Yeah, I agree. Sean Payton, let's get into this. This was Sean Payton. Well, let's talk about Aaron Rodgers and his response to Sean Payton's comments.
I'm not going to ask you about Sean Payton's comments directly, but I will ask you to maybe address Nathaniel Hackett as a coach and what he means to you and what he can bring to this Jets team. That story goes out there. I had about 1 million texts from people in the coaching community saying that was out of line. Yet you see Hackett out here, he's still pumped up. I don't think it affects him as much as maybe it affects everyone on the outside, and yet you and him have this great bond and union together where you've always had his back, he's always had yours.
Yeah, I love Nathaniel Hackett, and those comments were very surprising. For a coach to do that to another coach. My love for Hackett goes deep. You know, we had some great years together in Green Bay, kept in touch. Love him and his family. He's an incredible family man, incredible dad. And on the field, you know, he's arguably my favorite coach I've ever had in the NFL. Just his approach to it, how he makes it fun, how he cares about the guys, just how he goes about his business with respect, with leadership, with honesty, with integrity. And it made me feel bad that someone who's accomplished a lot in the league is that insecure.
Whoops. Let's get back to it. Clicking the wrong thing.
I'm not going to ask you about Sean Payton's comments directly, but
With integrity. And it made me feel bad that someone who's accomplished a lot in the league is that insecure that they have to take another man down to set themselves up for some sort of easy fall if it doesn't go well for that team this year. Thought it was way out of line and inappropriate, and I think he needs to keep my coach's names out of his mouth.
There is nothing more that I love more than Aaron Rodgers sticking up for his buddy Nathaniel Hackett and absolutely just keep my coach's name out of your mouth. But I love it. I love it. Absolutely. Like, the Jets are going to hang fucking 60 on Denver this year, and I am here for it. That's a tough defense. I don't know why you'd want to throw stones at this team right now, like, meaning the Jets. I know we haven't seen us, like, actually in a preseason game or on the field, but, like, it feels like we're about ready to pop off, and the Jets should be hitting their stride week 5, I would think. So Sean Payton needs to stop worrying about the Jets and stop worrying about Nathaniel Hackett and start figuring out his own team, because he paid not him, but the Denver Broncos paid $230 million to Russell Wilson, and he was horrible last year. Absolutely atrocious. So we'll see where that all plays out. Ooh, Dano comes in. Says, the next time you get 4 tickets, you 3 guys should auction that 4th spot off for a fortune. No, I don't want to do that. Especially like a free ticket to training camp. That's not my game. I would never charge for something that's like free like that. That seems bad. It's like a jerk move. But maybe we could raffle it off. That's different. I would raffle something off. Project Prospect Tom C says, I don't think any other teams really know or understand how good our D-line is going to be this year. It's going to be so good. The speed of which our edge rushers come off the field or come around the tackles on the field. Carl Lawson, J.J. Huff, McDonald, eat your heart out. Oh, I see Crossfire in here. Hold on. Where'd it go? Crossfire gifting 5 memberships. Let's go. Thank you so much, Crossfire. I see a few people picked up their membership. Jeffrey Williams joins the channel. Make sure you check out some of those dope emojis. Jigaman, got one. Hank G, Lambda, and Franco, all getting gifted memberships. Crossfire, you're too generous. Too kind. J Mart says, how good has Will McDonald been in camp? We haven't actually seen much of him. He only started, I believe, this past week. So the 27th and 30th were the only practices that fans have seen from him. From what I heard, he seems really quick. I'll be honest, I was not overly focused on him in particular when I was at camp. So I'd have to do a little bit more digging to give you a genuine answer there. J-Mart becomes a member of the channel! Yeah! I'm glad I had your question up and you become a member of the channel. Dude, thank you so much. You're a good dude. Kalka says, am I the only one that sees through this Dalvin Cook stuff? Dude's so obviously using us for money, doing everything but signing, including making a whole show about it in social media. So we knew that Dalvin Cook was not going to sign a deal on Sunday. We were all hoping that it would happen because he was at training camp, and you were hoping to get the alert while he was on the field and people just go bananas. But he said on Good Morning Football on Friday that he was not going to be signing a deal on Sunday. He was going to fly home to his family in Florida and talk with them prior to making any decision. I do get the feeling that he is trying to leverage us against Miami, but I also don't know how committed the Jets are. Like if the Jets were to lose out on Dalvin Cook, I don't think they're going to be losing a whole lot of sleep. We obviously don't want him to go to Miami, but if he's going to go to Miami, us helping him get more money from Miami is a very positive thing either way. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn on the Dalvin Cook stuff. I'm here for it if we get him. I think it's going to be a lot of fun if we get him. I'll be super excited. But if he winds up going to Miami, I wouldn't be surprised either. I feel like all Aaron Rodgers should have to do is hey, it's me or Tua. Who do you want under center? I don't know. Maybe having a backup quarterback after Tua gets knocked out at some point during the season is beneficial because then he'll get the ball a lot more and then maybe be able to cash in on a bigger contract. I do not know the answer to this question. Duncan says, any word on the new MetLife turf? I guess it went in a while ago. I have no idea how it looks. I haven't been there. Not since last year. Finster! Ryan, thanks for your DM advice about training camp tickets. Going with my dad. Appreciate you. Oh, I'm glad you got tickets. I'm so happy. So Finster reached out to me earlier today, and he's like, how'd you get tickets? How'd that work? I was like, oh, dude, you got to hop online. I was in the queue. What's weird, I was number 2 on the queue this time, which actually was the same as last time. But I don't know why I didn't get tickets this time. Maybe it was my internet. I might have switched to Wi-Fi partway through, and that could have been my flaw. But Finster, I'm glad you got some tickets, and it worked out. Franco, have you seen the new interview with Kay Adams? He is so pissed off. I can't wait for week 5. I saw the interview with Kay Adams. I didn't watch the full 9 minutes. I saw 2 clips. I saw one where he was talking about Hackett. I'm assuming you're talking about the Robert Saleh interview with Kay Adams. Part of it was the Nathaniel Hackett thing. The other part was the Dalvin Cook thing. I actually have the Dalvin Cook thing queued up, so we can go into that in just a little bit. I just want to go through the chat. Oh, we're already at 8:30. I want to go a little bit longer. Let's see. You guys are having fun in the chat. Fungus Mungus says, I don't think I've ever heard another coach say that about another coach to that degree. That was surprising coming from Sean Payton, because Payton's one of my favorite coaches prior to that comment, and him just trying to drag that through the dirt. While it's not entirely wrong, Hackett did not do well in Denver, and I would argue what he said may not have been factually wrong necessarily, but at the same time, we didn't hire Hackett as our offensive coordinator, and you don't have to throw shade at dudes. That felt to me very much like Sean Payton was trying to set himself up in the event of a bad season. It's like, oh, we're trying to correct the culture and get everything ironed out up here, and it's all because of the last guy. It's not because of my sorry-ass fucking bullshit. I know I've only had a Hall of Fame quarterback my entire career, and I rode his coattails the entire time, and then as soon as he left, I decided to get out of New Orleans. So I decided to go to another quarterback and hope I could reclaim him. I think Russ is the problem, along with, probably a lot of other stuff. Them having to count down the play clock was pretty embarrassing. Them being Denver. My cause, although I don't see a desperate need for Dalvin Cook, having him on the team wouldn't be bad. Brees is still the number 1. Yeah, that's my issue with this whole thing was the rumors that Brees Hall is grumbling and upset about this Dalvin Cook possible thing, all because he didn't have the Jets in his Twitter, which he hasn't had since well before Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if he ever has had the Jets in his Twitter, but fans are like, oh, it's not in there. He's upset. And he was upset about Ezekiel Elliott earlier when people were bringing it up. And I don't see that being the case. I think the Jets are probably telling Brees, dude, you're the guy. If we bring in Dalvin Cook or any other running back for that matter, we're going to be easing you in. We don't want you to, we're protecting you from yourself. You're going to tell us you're ready to go, and we need you for the playoffs. God forbid something sets you back and we don't have you in December. That is far worse. I'd much rather have Breece Hall ready for the end of the season than have him right at the beginning of the season. King says, is the cockpit open tonight? Yes. It's here. What's up, Ed? Little fist bump. Good citizen, why is this stream always choppy? I don't know if it's choppy for everyone. It says I got an excellent connection on this side, so maybe lower the quality. Maybe try 720p stream. Maybe that's doing it for you. I don't know. JT Nickerson, almost as pumped to watch your channel as I am ready for the season. Oh, I'll take a number. I'll take second place to that. I take second place to that anyway. I'm more excited for the season than I am to do anything at all. Like I think it's my highest level of excitement I've had for a Jets season, like possibly ever. William says, what number are we giving Cook if he signs? DJ has number 4. I think he would go back to number 33. Mark says, I will say it now. Will Big Mac, I will say it now. Will McDonald will have double-digit sacks and 5 forced fumbles. Wow. If he has double-digit sacks in a season that we're kind of projecting he's going to play about 25% of the snaps, I mean, if he starts getting a whole bunch of sacks, they're going to just keep giving him opportunities. Crossfire says, okay, everyone, I have to drive, so I'll be listening and not watching. Won't be able to chat until I get home. So you guys got to wait to talk to Crossfire until he gets back. Drive safe, Crossfire. Are you hearing me through your car speakers right now? If you are, I hope you have some good bass. I'm an idiot. I don't know how that sounded. That's probably horrible for all you guys that are just listening on headphones. J-Boy comes in with a super chat, says Hall's going to be 100% back late season and runs us to a Super Bowl win. I think Breece could very well be back for week 1 if we needed him back for week 1. I really hope that we don't do that. I kind of want to protect him from himself. And like you said, have him for the later part of the season here. Poughkeepsie Pete says, how about we sign another quality O lineman instead of another running back? We're kind of stacked. Rookie. Looking real good in camp. Yeah, running back's not a position that I necessarily feel the need to overly spend on. That's why Cook is a little bit more, I'm not so sure about. But I would say that as far as a quality offensive lineman, I don't know who's out there as far as quality offensive lineman. With every team at damn near 100 players, you're talking 32 teams. So 3,200 players are rostered, and those have to get cut down to 53-man rosters at the end of the summer. So half the league is going to be available at some point. I think the Jets are going to wait and see who shakes free from some other teams. Blake says, what primetime game are you most excited for? Jets Chargers, of course. No, definitely week 1. I'm excited for Jets Chargers because it's going to be me, O'Leary, and Green Bean, and a bunch of you guys coming to the game with us. But I'm super pumped on week 1. I'm not gonna lie. I can't say how excited I am because of just the atmosphere. Seeing Rodgers come out onto the field for the first time, it's gonna get rowdy, and I hope we drop oodles and oodles of points. Curly says, Ryan, did they have the legacy jerseys for sale at camp? They did. They do. They only, at least when I was there the last 2 times, they had They had Aaron Rodgers, number 8 jersey, and Sauce Gardner's number 1 jersey, and that's it. I think they probably just did a bunch of them, figuring those are the 2 highest jersey sales right now for the Jets. I assume those are the 2 highest. So you can get one, but it's only one of those 2 if you're going to training camp. Unless they add some more this upcoming week, which is entirely possible. Ooh, Rico, great nickname. If McDonald pops off, his nickname has got to be WMD, Weapon of Mass Destruction. I like it. Crossfire says, very good base. LOL. Luckily, I'm at a red light. Oh, my beatboxing skills. They've waned a little bit. Anthony says, if McDonald does that, he will probably have Defensive Rookie of the Year. Yeah, I would think so. If he goes off on that kind of run of sacks. Jace, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. He says, what are you most excited to see? For me, it's Jermaine Johnson. Overall positivity surrounding the team this year is wild. I love all the hype around the team. Like, it's nice talking about the Jets and seeing like the polarization of like other fans. Like, some people are like totally on board this Jets thing. Other people are like, yo, they are the assholes. Like the Jets fans, why are they, all hyped up? They have lost every guy. Patriot fans, Bills fans, Dolphins fans, blowing up my Twitter or X or whatever that's called now. Very upset with how the Jet fans are like confident, and there's definitely some Napoleon complex from those other teams right now. And I'm excited to see what we do in the division. But Jermaine Johnson, I would have taken Jermaine Johnson. Like, if you had told me Sauce was going at number 3 instead of the kid with the injuries, what the hell was his name that the Texans took? If Sauce went at 3, I would have taken Jermaine Johnson at 4. And then after Sauce went at 4, I would have taken Jermaine Johnson at 10. I was not on the Garrett Wilson train, admittedly. I would have been fine with a wide receiver, but I wanted wide receiver more so in the second round. Jermaine Johnson, I was really, really high on. He's kind of like the forgotten rookie from last year's class because of how good Brees, Garrett, and Sauce were. And even like Clemens. And then you got to see like some starting reps from, I guess Mitchell, because we were focused on the offensive line a little bit. And then Ruckert was more of a redshirt year. But of the early picks, Jermaine Johnson was definitely like the redheaded stepchild. But at the same time, he was such a freak at Florida State. I would love to see him do that. And he's having a really good camp. Yeah, and he just looks good in the number 11 too. If I had to pick one player to break out this season, it's hands down Jermaine Johnson. I don't think it's remotely close. Like, you'll see other players have good seasons because of Aaron Rodgers. Like, maybe the tight ends could have a really good season. But as far as the defense goes, Jermaine Johnson is like at the top of my list for guys that are going to be absolutely dominant this season. Raymond says, midseason trades. I know it's far away, but what do you think of Mike Evans possibly, or obviously Devontae Adams? What are your thoughts on this? I think the comments that we heard from Rodgers regarding his contract and potentially trading for someone at the deadline, could it refer to Devontae Adams? Maybe. I think if you lost one of your wide receivers, then it becomes a real possibility that you would try to acquire him. I do think it's going to be expensive. I don't think the Raiders are necessarily in a financial spot to take on an additional cap hit. Unless I'm reading his contract wrong, I'm pretty sure they get a $30 million dead cap hit because of the bonuses that have already been paid out to him this season. So it feels like he might be more possible in the offseason. Not to mention, don't you think it's a little weird that like a Belichick disciple might trade a top wide receiver to a division rival of the Patriots? I know they're not like, he's on the Raiders right now, and who cares about the Patriots and whatnot. And if you have to get assets, maybe that's the way you do it. But I just feel like having Devontae Adams get traded to the Jets and then possibly the Jets going to the Super Bowl in Las Vegas and having him catch a touchdown like in the Raiders stadium, I don't see it happening. It feels like that's a little more far-fetched. Back to Yari, though, that's an interesting one. I don't know what he would cost to get. Someone brought him up earlier. Mike Evans, I'd have to look at I think his contract's pretty favorable. I think he's in the last year of his deal. I like Mike Evans a lot. I just feel like if you're going for a receiver, I feel like Adams is probably a guy just because of the connection with Rodgers. But who knows? Maybe Rodgers is good with anything. Blake says, if Rodgers got injured, who you think Zach can get us to the playoffs? So this is something that's been kind of flying a little bit under the radar. I mean, I guess some fans who have been paying attention to the tweets and everything are probably aware, but Zach's having a pretty quietly good camp. He wasn't very sharp on Sunday. I'll say that. Sunday looked like, I've been to 3 different practices. Of the 3 that I've been to, Sunday looked like it was a little bit rougher for Zach as far as accuracy goes. But the rest of the days at camp, he's looked pretty good. And hopefully he gets his full long off season and season where he doesn't have to be like the guy. You're hoping Rodgers can play every game. But if Zach has to come in for a game or two, remember, we went on a pretty good win streak there with Zach at the helm when we had a healthy AVT and a healthy Brees and a healthy Corey Davis. So I do think Zach could hold it down for us for a little bit, but I don't want to have to rely on him, overly. So I'm hoping, we see a lot of growth from him this season. We decide, hey, we're not going to exercise maybe his 5th-year option, but we do want to negotiate a contract with you. We just want you to be the backup. We want you to be the guy after Rodgers, and we think you being here is the best opportunity for that. I don't know if Zach necessarily wants to do that, but I would think any other team that's looking at Zach isn't going to pay him like anything. So staying within a system and maybe taking over after Rodgers might be the way to go. I don't know. I'm hoping to see what we see a little bit more from Zach throughout the rest of the season. Ferris says, sounds wrong when someone says, damn, they blown up my ex. Yeah, it's the whole Twitter change is weird. I don't understand it. Lambda says, I'm thinking JJ for my throwback, and I'm struggling to pull the trigger. Too many good choices. So I got Klecko, and I got Quinnen. Klecko and Quinnen are the two I ordered. I could have ordered like every single person in this jersey. I love the throwback jerseys. They're so nice. Fair says, unless Adams takes a pay cut also. Maybe he would. Maybe everything that he's gotten so far would allow him to take a pay cut. His contract, if traded, is not bad though. At least for the next 2 years. You're talking, I think it's $6 million this year and $17 million next year. So I don't think he really has to take a pay cut per se, unless he wanted to stay longer. Then maybe that works out. But I do think having guys that Rodgers likes and Rodgers taking less money, I think that signals to other players like, hey, you take a little bit less, we're all moving this thing forward. Franco says, I would prefer the Jets add a tackle. Having Mitchell, the starter at right tackle, is a little concerning. Love the prospect, but we need experience on the line. I think Becton's eventually going to be right tackle. I think Brown's going to be left tackle. And we haven't really seen that. Billy Turner's been struggling a little bit at left tackle. Mitchell has been struggling a little bit at, right tackle? And would they flip-flop him, I think, this past week? I'm not loving our offensive line right now. And not to mention Joe Tippmann. I was really hoping we get to see him start this year. It seems, based on Connor Hughes' tweet, that Saleh was not... he's not. I don't think he's committing to anyone. They're obviously trying Wes and McGovern at center. I think McGovern's more likely than not going to be the center for this year because you have a veteran center taking snaps with Aaron Rodgers. I don't think you want a rookie necessarily doing it. But who knows? Maybe if he earns it, I want it. The Hughes tweet today about him not starting in 2023 was very disappointing for me to read. NY Jets 24. Ryan, it's nice to see Jets get some respect. Going out to Jets camp on Saturday. Ooh, you have to look for me. Richie and I will be together on Saturday, I think. Pretty sure. Should be. I got to work out some logistics, but I'm pretty sure I should be going to both these Saturday and Sunday. Megan asks, is Bakhtiari a free agent or a trade? He's under contract for the next few years, definitely through this season, and then he's got a monster contract after this year, so they just may opt to wait until after this season to bring him in. If the Packers are going to have to cut him because of some $40 million cap hit next year. Let me actually look this up because I saw this on Reddit that he had some massive cap hit, but I did not follow up on if this is actually true for next year. Oh, yeah, $40 million cap hit next year. So it would make sense for them to move off of him next season or extend him further. I would love to see Rodgers and Bakhtiari link up again next year, depending on what happens with our offensive line situation. But yeah, he is under contract. J-Mar says, I live in New England. And I heard on the radio today that while Jones looked good, Zappe looked just as good. I don't know the whole Zappe thing is over here. I don't know if the whole Zappe thing is over here. Oh, so I know a few Patriot fans that are very high on Zappe or Zap or whatever, however you pronounce his name. I don't think Mac Jones is the guy. I also think Mac Jones is a dirty player. I don't think players like playing with or against Mac Jones. Not for any scary reason other than He like tries to twist players' legs after he gets tackled. He tries to trip players. He kicks them in the dick. Like, this guy's just a friggin' asshole. Zappy, I know some fans were pretty excited about him last year. Ferris, how about Zach Martin, guard at the trade deadline? I mean, if Laken Tomlinson is not looking good, I feel like his contract's untradeable. I feel like he's here for a little bit. So hopefully he just bounces back. I don't think we're looking for a guard. Unless we decide, hey, AVT, you're our best tackle. Now we're going to look for a guard. But I would think you would have McGovern and Tippmann maybe as one of those guys being the guard. Raymond says, I waited 45 minutes to get tickets to Saturday's training camp. Then my screen turned white and froze. What about Garrett Wilson? You think could have a top 3 wide receiver season? Dude, I was in the queue like beforehand. Like, I think it was like 10 minutes before the queue opens up for the tickets. I was in the queue. I had the tickets. I had all 4. I was clicking like, okay, go. Like, hey, we're going to release your tickets in 10 minutes if you don't click go. I'm sitting there, and the go never went. Just friggin' sat there. It sucked. Luckily, Richie was able to hook it up. Tigo! What's up, dude? Good to see you in here. Just remember, Mac is short for McCorkle. Ain't fearing a guy named McCorkle. It's come to my attention. I don't know what Mac Jones' first name is. That can't be right. It can't be McCorkle. It's got to be something else. Only like cartoon characters and like, I don't even know a cartoon character named McCorkle. I don't know. Let's see. Well, we're almost at the 9 o'clock mark. So let me hop over real quick because I do want to get to some phone call questions in here. But I realize my earbuds, which these little friggin' clear Beats Studio, whatever the hell these things are, Plus, I've had these for a week, and I'm catching every other word on the headphone right now, and it is absolutely infuriating. And I think I'm gonna return them. I got them on Prime Day. I don't know. I gotta find new buds. But in order to hear you guys, I need to figure out how to have the audio come through there. So let me see if I know how to do that. There's probably some way to do this. Crossfire says, do not pass go, do not collect 200 tickets. Do not collect tickets. Mr. Monopoly Guy. And my cursor says, skip calls. Most of us don't have phones. Ooh, okay. So let's do this. Since my headphones are not working right now, let's do a poll question. And I'll run it for just 5 minutes. And if you guys want me to do calls, I'll do calls. If not, I don't mind doing the, like, talking through the chat. I do have fun with that either way. All right. So you guys can let me know what you prefer. Till then, we'll just keep going through here. Nick Dow says, so what's the deal with Dalvin? He's signing or using us for leverage? I think it could be either. I think he's definitely using us for leverage, hoping he can get something out of Miami. And if he doesn't like the Miami contract that's offered, if it ever is, then I think he could sign with the Jets. Mike Kaz. I like Tippmann as our center, not guard. That's why we drafted him. Joe Douglas needs to still develop that offensive line the way he has the defensive line. The thing that sucks is we've put a lot of effort into that offensive line. A lot. Like Becton, AVT, Tippmann, all top 2-round picks. And then you've also tried Clark. You've tried Mitchell. You've tried, a slew of free agents. You had Tomlinson come in last year. Like, it's not for a lack of trying. You signed George Fant to a contract, Morgan Moses, Dwayne Brown. Like, we're literally throwing bodies at this offensive line for whatever reason. I don't know. Oh, no way. It's definitely McCorkle. Mac Jones. Rico says Michael McCorkle Jones is his full name. But going by Mike Jones would be equally hilarious. Who, Rico? Mike Jones! 281-330-800-FOE. Hit Mike Jones up on the low, because Mike Jones about to blow. Ferris says, try Skull Candy earbuds. I haven't had Skull Candy earbuds in like 15 years. Been a long time. I was probably in high school at that point. I usually have AirPods. I do like the AirPod Pros have been pretty good. Mine did break, but I don't know if I'm using them for just some extreme use case with all this stuff that I do here. So maybe I got to get like a wired headset. The only thing is like when I get fired up and I stand up, I like jerk myself down. Fungus Among Us says best wireless buds he's ever owned. So maybe I'll just have to go with it. Steven says, don't nobody call. Nobody wants to hear your douchebags and your takes. I love doing the call-in show. I actually do really like talking to people. But that's why I like the chat too. Chat's a lot of fun. Not to mention the thumbnail does say call-in show. I feel like that would be false advertising. Rico, the pup, says, another Mandela effect in action. I think people are confusing him with Mr. Peanut. The Monopoly guy and Mr. Peanut. I do believe that is true because the Monopoly guy doesn't actually have a monocle. I always thought he did, and someone told me he doesn't. And I was like, oh, really? Mandela effect's weird. That's when I feel like we're in a simulation. Like, this is a weird timeline we're on. Like a glitch in the Matrix. Seeing, like, deja vu and stuff. Rob Dambo gets it. Hit Mike Jones up on the low because Mike Jones about to blow. D. Santana says, it's a long season. Let Max start. If needed, use Tittman. Use McGovern first. Yeah, I think McGovern's definitely going to start. I would love to see Tittman come in at some point, but I don't think it's likely unless McGovern goes down with an injury. I think they're going to want to... I think I heard Saleh wants to anoint the starter by the Panthers game, which is next Saturday. Not this upcoming Saturday, a week from then. The Rusty Spooner says, I'd take Kareem Hunt and Mike Evans if Cook and Devontae want to play games 100%. I do like both those players. I do think Hunt could have more juice left than Cook. And I do like Mike Evans in terms of his contract and what I think it would cost to get him. I don't know how like willing Todd Bowles is to like want to trade with the Jets, although maybe it's not his call, it's the GM anyway. Crossfire says I should call in one day as well as do the Thursday Thick of It with Green Bean. You totally should. Franco says, make it a video call-in. Fun fact, technically it is a video call-in. I just don't show the caller's screen. That's kind of how I make this magic happen. And my cursor says Monopoly guy has a monocle. Well, I always thought he did because you see Ace Ventura in... Was it Pet? No, it's not Pet Detective. It's When Nature Calls. He goes, you must be the Monopoly guy. And he's got like the monocle on. I think that's how that works. Unless that's the Mandela effect. And I like assume, I haven't played Monopoly in forever. That's how friendships and families are ruined. Jim Pox says, I worked with Mike Jones. Like the Mike Jones or a Mike Jones? Frankie says, hot take, we play A-Rod 64% of snaps. We had this like funny conspiracy thing going where it was like, oh, Aaron Rodgers is going to play 64% of the snaps because we're going to be leading by so much at halftime. We're going to pull him for Zach Wilson. And that's how you get to less than 65% of the snaps. Keep your first round pick. That would be hysterical if that happened. Because 66%, you'd have to get pulled in the third quarter, right? Is that how that would work? Is my math right? Yeah. It'd have to be like halfway through the third quarter. Not going to happen, but I love it. Kaz asking, what's your take on Sean Payton? How long will he last without bounties in Denver? They better win quick. Or at least they better turn it around pretty fast, because that team is paying a lot of money to a quarterback. The team's paying a lot of money to a head coach. I mean, when you have Walmart money, you don't have to really worry about the finances. But that fan base was brutal last year. See, Dark Soldier, you guys are all throwing me arc. Dark Soldier says the Monopoly guy does not have a monocle. See, Fungus says no Monopoly guy with a monocle. That's what I thought. I thought, because I know the Peanut, Mr. Peanut has an eyeglass thing. But definitely Ace Ventura, I think in When Nature Calls, takes the monocle from the guy that's like next to the stairs and goes, whoosh, throws up, you must be the Monopoly guy. Cayuga Lake went to school with another guy named Mike. I went to school with one named, last name was Oxbig, though. Wild. Where's my, Let's see, Mike Jones. Rusty Spooner says, just so happy we have Clemens. You got a fucking monster with me. Number 72, next to John Randall. And we have him. Let's go, Jets. I do think that Clemens is going to be an absolute monster this year. He's probably the player I'm most looking forward to on Hard Knocks to see how he's developed. I think fans of like other teams are going to be like, this guy is outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to have to drink before this stream. And I landed on a Kid's Honest lemonade. I was so thirsty and it seemed so good. I gotta get my straw out. I'm gonna stab this thing. It's gonna go through the back. I gotta make this thing childproof. Or not childproof. I'm an adult. I should be able to get my own sippy straws. Ooh, that's tasty. Dark Soldier. Since his first appearance in 1936, he has never been pictured on a Monopoly box or board with a monocle or eyeglass. Despite being synonymous with the monocle, the Monopoly man never actually wore. I have no idea how we got onto the Monopoly guy thing, but I don't hate it. It's pretty funny. Okay, we're at the 9 o'clock mark. Let's check our poll. Oh, you guys do want me to do Coles. That's actually a lot closer than I thought. Only like 100 of you guys voted, though. So we're going 52% yes. I got to figure out how to get the audio to sound effective. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link in the chat, and whoever wants to help me diagnose this problem, first person in, I'm going to try and figure out the audio, because I got to get the audio to come through my computer instead of my buds, because my buds below. All right, so link is in the live chat. Let's see. Let you guys call in. Go figure. All right. What's up, Charles? Give me 1 second. I'm trying to figure out this audio. I'm going to have you test stuff with me while I do this. But I just got to figure out.
I can hear you now.
What's tough with streaming is there's so many like different ways to do audio. Okay, there's that one. Charles.
Yes?
You can hear me.
Yes.
Chat, can you
I can hear you
Charles?
loud and clear, buddy.
I think the chat can hear Charles
Yes, I
too.
can
I
hear
think
you
I
loud
figured
and
it out.
clear.
All right. Give me 1 second. Is there any weird loop back or anything? I think you guys are.
No.
All right, so you can hear me? All right, cool. I think this is working. All right, Charles, you get your 3 minutes. Let's go. Welcome to the
I don't know why Sean Payton shot his mouth off about the Jets and Nathaniel Hackett. I understand Nathaniel Hackett didn't do a good job in Denver, but that's no reason to shoot your mouth off. To me, to be a true professional, you keep your mouth shut and you do your fucking job.
Yeah, the way Rodgers said it was, I for someone who's accomplished so much in the league to have such low confidence or such insecurities about how your season could go that you have to preempt it with, oh, well, the last guy was so bad. If I fail, this is just because of the last guy. Like, dude, Sean Payton, you're considered one of the best coaches to ever play in the NFL, or not play, but coach in the NFL.
One of the coaches to coach in the NFL. Coaches don't play. This is not semi-pro with Will Ferrell.
Some coaches do. That coach did not.
Well, that's right.
He
played
did. Wasn't he? Oh no, he was with Dallas. I don't think he ever.
He played for the Bears and he sucked.
So see, he played. Counts. Just not good.
Yeah, but obviously this is not semi-pro with Will Ferrell where you can do everything.
Yeah.
I love that movie, by the way. It's a funny movie.
So talk to
I
me.
want to thank Rico the Pub for saying he likes me, that I get to the point. Thank you. I appreciate that, Rico. I don't really like the bullshit a lot of the times. I had a feeling Dalvin Cook wasn't going to sign with us yesterday. I think he just came for a visit to see what the team was like. There's a possibility he could sign with us, but I think he's going to wait to evaluate the situation. Is there a possibility he could? What, are you showing me some juice box?
I'm not showing you the juice box. I'm showing the chat the juice box. Someone commented, what Capri Sun do you have? The sad thing about Capri Suns is when I was a kid, you used to fold them in half and have like your antenna for your cell phone, right? It's called.
Yeah.
Now kids have like smartphones, and that's not how a cell phone looks anymore.
No, Dano, I'm not laying down in bed. Some asshole's asking me if I'm laying down in bed because I usually do that when I'm on Jake Asman.
I was gonna say, you're always sitting
I'm
up
on
when
my
you talk to
phone.
me.
I'm laying down in bed. I'm like, hey, Jake, what's up, man? How you doing? Anyway.
I don't have pants on.
Oh, come on, man. Think of the kids watching. Anyways, look, I do think Joe Tippmann will eventually get the job eventually. I think McGovern's going to be started for now, but I think as training camp moves on, Joe Tippmann's going to take the job from him. I like the fact that Saleh is letting these guys work for, because I think what hurt him early on in the first 2 years was that he gave Zach the job instead of letting him work for it. That's what I think hurt him. Another thing I would like to say is getting Devontae Adams. I'm a huge fan of Devontae Adams. I think he's one of the best receivers in football, but I don't think we need him.
Ruthless with the chicken. Sorry, Charles. Thanks for helping me troubleshoot. We've got Joe, then Lima Bean, then King Lowski. If you guys are also calling in, I see Sonny, Ryan, and Jonathan calling in. Just keep your phones going. I'll get to you guys in a second. I just can't add you to the room because then my internet slows down like stupid. So, Joe, welcome back to the cockpit.
Hey, Ryan, how you doing?
I'm hanging in there. How are you feeling about all the storylines we've seen about training camp the last little bit here?
Oh, man, I tried to get tickets today for August 5th, and they wouldn't let me in, like the same problem you had.
Dude, they are like...
I was fucking
like
pissed, man.
Oh, dude, I literally had 3 people. It was me and 2 other people. I should say 4, because I had Richie doing it too. I reached out to Richie before, and I was like, Richie, you go for Saturday, I'll go for Sunday, and we'll split the tickets. We'll each go. And then he was able...
Yeah.
I guess he knew a season ticket holder, and they got tickets. And then he sent them. I was like, wow.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the thing I want to talk about today, like you, I'm very concerned about the offensive line. I mean, Tippmann is not starting. I mean, he's the second center to be drafted in the first 2 rounds since Nick Mangold. That's a problem. You know, I knew he was going to be a little bit of a problem when I seen he had that party mentality running by the sidelines. When you're a serious player like Michael Clemens, for instance, you don't do stuff like that. You got to sit back, get ready to learn, and go in there and be like a fucking animal and take over. That party mentality, man, it's not going to work. It reminds me of Dan. It reminds me of Dan Feeney.
I think the Jets put him up to it. Like, I feel like watching the offensive linemen run up and down the sideline, because we saw Mitchell do it last year, I think it was, and it feels like they just like having the linemen come out shirtless and like run in front of the fans. So I don't know how much of it is really on Tippmann. I think
it could have been
more
staged.
so he's just raw. It's he's a tall dude. I think you have a veteran quarterback in Rodgers, and he probably wants a veteran center as opposed to a rookie.
But we have, Dwayne Brown, good player, but he's old. He's going to be 38. We got Lincoln Tomlinson. He hasn't lived up to his contract. Hopefully he'll do better next year. AVT, I think, is going to be great. And McGovern's just stable. And then Becton's a question mark. I mean, and even AVT had an injury, coming off an injury, and Becton coming off an injury. I mean, there's a lot of problems with our line, man.
Oh, for
it's
sure.
It's a big question mark.
That's our biggest question mark, bar none.
And if we don't get that line solidified, man, we're not going to the Super Bowl. That's the bottom line. I don't care how great Aaron Rodgers is.
You can't be a great quarterback and have a shit offensive line. It just does not work out. You might be able to you're going to be able to hide some weaknesses in the offensive line, but you need to at least be relatively stable. And the Jets are not that right now. We have a revolving door on the offensive line based on like the combinations we've seen at training camp so far.
That's why we didn't get that draft.
Boom!
You're out of here!
Great comments, Joe. I love you, brother, but you've been ejected from the cockpit. All right, we got Lima Bean chiming in. Lima Bean, how you doing tonight?
Hey, it's been a while.
I know it's been a bit. Did you call in? How long have I been doing this now? Two weeks since I've been back, so I didn't talk to you.
Feels like a while. Did you change your channels for a while? I couldn't find your videos or something.
Well, so I wasn't doing any videos for a while. Like from mid-May through the start of our training camp, I take a hiatus. It's more of like a mental reset for myself. And I hop off like trending and everything. Like literally it takes a while to get my videos back up. And I think I'm finally back up to where I'm producing content again.
Yeah, well, good to know. So yeah, I liked your, I guess last Tuesday show where you're poking fun at Green Bean and Mim's love story. But like, I gotta say, like, it's looking back at like all the cuts we're making, it feels so good to be cutting like players that other teams are grabbing. Back in the day, we would be striving for every freaking like trash pail guy we could find from like the road. Like this is how it's supposed to be done. We have a pipeline of freaking linebackers. Like
Lima Bean, you're clipping in and out. If you could call in on a different thing, whatever you're calling in on, I'll jump to you in line. But you're like it's catching every other word for some reason. So I'm going to eject you, but just call back in. I'll pick it back up. All right. Until then, we're going to go to King Lowski. King Lowski, how you doing, brother? Welcome to the cockpit.
Ryan, can you hear me, my brother?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Hey, man, it's so good to see you back in the cockpit, man. It's good to see you jetting up, baby. I see y'all out there in training camp, you, Green Bean, Richie, and you guys, man. Hey, man, I just wanted to call in. I'm glad you opened up the lines, dog, because I needed to give this fool Sean Payton another piece of my damn mind like I did on the Jake Asman show. Let me tell you something, Sean Payton. We're going to kick your ass week 5. You best believe that. You better be prepared. You quit on the Saints, we're going to make you quit again. You best believe that, my boy. Hey, all we got to do is tighten up this offensive line. I heard the defensive line was kicking their butts, man. Hey, but the offensive line needs to tighten up, and we need to get the run game going and get Aaron.
Oh, what happened to Lowski? I didn't eject him. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. But you get the chicken either way. I don't know what happened. All right, let's jump back to Lima Bean, see how he's feeling. Lima Bean, can you hear me?
Can you hear me better? Is it so choppy?
Loud and clear. Perfect. You're good.
All right, I turned off my PlayStation, so we're good. So yeah, no, I just wanted to, playfully poke fun at Green Bean and his because I remember last year remember that wide receiver that turned into a tight end. He was pissed we cut, and the Giants picked him up, and then now the safety he wanted, and then like we cut him and he's not doing jack shit. Like he likes a lot of these like guys that kind of like, you know, back in the old Jets, they would be our starters. They suck, you know, like it just feels good not to watch like the undrafted free agents to save us, you know.
Oh, dude. Oh, well, it's nice where you draft a guy and you can sit him behind someone like Will McDonald in the first round. I don't want him to play a whole bunch of snaps this year because I'm hoping he can sit and learn the same way Jermaine Johnson did last year. Like I think Jermaine's going to take a huge leap this year, and that's not to say that you shouldn't play your first round picks if they're ready to play. But like the goal should be draft young players, develop them, and let them take over when they can earn the spot. And I think that's what Jermaine Johnson's doing this year. I think he's going to start.
Yeah, no, I hear you. We finally have a pipeline of players, not just first round picks. Just, you know, back in the day, we were like, you know, we would look for every little positive we can just to see like what type of team we could form with like nobodies, you know, and like it's just good to see. So, do you remember the free safety like that Green Bean wanted to draft in the first round like 2 years ago or something that he was so adamant about?
I know, like Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah, it's funny how he's a strong safety and didn't do jack shit, right? Yeah, we needed a safety. Listen, I love Green Bean, but I just have to keep poking fun at him. You want to piss him off for Tuesday? Here's what you do. He keeps bringing up that one catch from Mims in the Panthers game. Look at all the drops he had. All the when he did play, he didn't play well. I wanted to root for Mims like the next person, and I believed in him. But as bad as LaFleur was, he didn't do the little things. He couldn't run routes. He didn't fight for the ball. He had a bad attitude. He dropped touchdown passes in his hands. So for that 140-yard catches, he didn't do much. Remember, he was starting during that Bills game and the Patriots game. He jumped to make a catch that was on the floor. So I don't know.
Denzel Mims, when Green Bean got fired up, it was so much fun. Like because Matt and I, we obviously saw each other for the Sunday camp. And it was so funny because we kept like throwing shots at Green Bean about Mims, and like people would come up to us like, "Oh, Green Bean, how about that Mims guy?" And like it was just Green Bean rolled with it in stride. But man, he got
I don't know.
fired up.
He always like these underdog plays. Like he kept bitching about Perrine 2 years ago. It's like he didn't do shit. He got a ring, but he didn't do anything.
Dude, Pirine was one. He died on that hill. He was super pumped about Pirine. He did think he was overdrafted, though. I think he believed Pirine should have been, what was Pirine, a 4th round pick? I think he believed he should have been a 5th round pick. So there was some degree of excitement.
One last thing to say is to Sean Payton, keep my coach's name out your fucking mouth. You know,
let's go. That was a great way to end that call. I'm going to hop back to King Lowski because he got cut off before. So Lowski, what's up, brother?
Hey, Ryan, man, I don't know what happened, man, but I appreciate you getting me back in, man. I was just saying, hey, Sean Payton, like my man said, keep my coach's name out your damn mouth, okay? We ain't got time for all of this hoopla and talking. This ain't the NFL Network. This ain't Fox Network. This ain't CBS, my boy. You do all that talking on the field when we putting a 50 burger on your damn head, my boy. You best believe that. Hey, Ryan, man, I appreciate you, man. I've been following you since the whole Aaron Rodgers thing went down. I've been going on your live streams and all of that, man. Hey, bro, I appreciate you, man. I know you had the daughter, man, and dog, man. This is the season. This is when we come alive, baby. I've been joining your talks and your call-ins even last year when we was losing. It don't matter, baby. We here now. We got the quarterback. We got the defense. Let's go. Let's rock.
Dude, I love that. Thank you so much for hopping in, dude, because it means the world. Like, there is no better time when, like, the Jets are actually good. The last time the Jets were good in, like, 2015 was fun, but I feel like 2010 there was a lot of hope and everything. And when we got to the playoffs and the city's buzzing and the fan base is, like, amped. Like, this is the most amped I've seen this fan base ever in my lifetime.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm
yes, sir. And it's our time, baby. It's our time, baby. And I'm glad you, Richie, Jake, y'all all Green Bean, all of y'all, Buffalo Jet fan, man, shout out to y'all. Man, y'all are covering the Jets at the right time, and the city is buzzing just like they buzzing around the Jets, they buzzing around y'all, man. Everybody's watching us. All eyes is on us. Jet fans, be prepared for the pressure because it's coming, and we need to embrace it. Let's go. This is our time. This is our time. It's simple as that. Let's go, Ryan.
We're the dragon. This fan base is the dragon. We are 100%. Like, this team, I just hope if the players can live up to it, if the health of the players can be there, I don't see how the
Yes,
Jets
sir.
don't like hang with anyone in the league.
Yeah, man. I'm not penciling in nothing, Ryan. I don't say 17-0 like Green Bean said. I'm not penciling in nothing. You can kiss my ass. I don't see us losing to nobody. You kidding me, Ryan? Did you
Dude,
see
I
our
think
defense
we can go
last
toe
year?
to toe with anyone. Someone was asking me about the
If we average the league average last year, man, we would have made the damn playoffs. Did you see the defense last year? It was on the field too much. It won't be this year. It won't be this year. All Jets need to be. Hey, we got football this week. We have Jet foot.
Listen, you're out of here.
Lowski, that was a blast. If you're still listening to this, that was awesome. I highly recommend you call it another time because that was some energy. We've got Sonny, then Ryan, then Tigo coming up, and then I see David, Christopher, and Jonathan. You guys are just hang tight in there. Ron Weiss, we got to see you at training camp today or yesterday. He says it was great meeting you yesterday, Ryan. You guys are true Jet fans. So are you guys. Ron and his wife were wearing our Talking Jet shirts, and it was the coolest thing. It was so cool. I'm literally walking into training camp with my buddy, and I hear like, hey, he's like sitting behind his car, like, you know, in the driver's seat. And I'm like, I look at him, I was like, he's got one of our shirts on. And like super excited. So very, very nice to meet you, Ron. Thank you so much for coming up to us and just supporting the channel in general. Very, very cool. Okay, let's go over to Sonny. Sonny, what's up, brother? Welcome back.
Hey, Ryan, how are you, man? Always a pleasure listening to you.
Dude, I'm so glad you called in. I want to hear from you. How are you feeling about all the stuff that's gone on this last, week and a half, 2 weeks of training camp?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, the Sean Payton thing, the guy is obviously doing this to send a message to his own quarterback. Like, no one's blaming you. Isn't your fault. Don't think you're washed. Get that out of your head. It was all Nathaniel Hackett's fault. So he's simply using Hackett, as a way to clear his guy from that horrific season he had last year, because they
Yeah, it's
were
one of those
miserable.
motivational tactics, right? Like, I don't
Yeah,
think you necessarily
that's
had to throw
exactly what it is.
stones at it,
Yeah.
but it's one of those things where it's like, hey, we can do this. There was a lot of dysfunction last year, but that's gone now. We have this new atmosphere, and you got to buy in.
And that there is a positive here, believe it or not. It could have been very easy for the Jets to lose track of that game. It being sandwiched between the Chiefs game and the Eagles game. You got to fly out to Denver and beat that team. So now the Jets have circled this game on their calendar. Aaron
100%.
Rodgers
You
is
don't
going
think
to want to go
every
out there
player
and
is going to
throw
be
5 touchdowns or something.
Dude, I think week 1, this team's going to be fired up to like make some noise. But I think that week 5 matchup, like I guess you're seeing probably week 1, week 3, week 5 as like the ones they're getting up for. It's Denver, it's New England, and then it's Buffalo, then New England, then Denver, and like
Kansas City
everyone's up.
Chiefs at home. I think that's week 4.
Yep.
On a different note, Ryan, the Jets have acquired, we get it, Aaron Rodgers, a lot of great players, and yes, they're good enough to compete. I think if they get Dalvin Cook, that's the piece they need, where I feel where win right now, they're not fooling around. They pushed all their chips in, and they're definitely trying to win it. For me, he's that win it all piece that I think we're missing.
Yeah, I feel like any caliber of player that you bring in that's similar to a Dalvin Cook or a DeAndre Hopkins, someone of that pedigree,
Right. If they brought in
it's
Hopkins
instantly a Super Bowl caliber move. Like, I think if you bring in someone like a Hunt or someone like a Zeke, I think that is still of a similar capacity, maybe a little less so. But I would say
like
they are similar
that little push you need to get you over the top, where we feel, oh, this is win right now. They're playing no games here.
Now, any concern as far as like the running back position seems like it's pretty strong for the Jets? Like, are we just adding to our riches? Should we be upgrading other positions?
I mean, the offensive line is probably the real.
Boom, Sonny!
You're out of here.
I love this damn chicken. It's incredible. All right, we got Ryan joining the show. Ryan, what's up, brother? Welcome back to the cockpit.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
I'm hanging in there. How's your well, I haven't talked to you since what? Last probably April, May, somewhere in there. I feel like that's when I talked to you.
Yeah, about
last.
there.
How you
It's
doing?
been a little bit, but I still watch all your shows and I still like them. I've got a bunch of points to make.
Fire
So first thing I want to make is you got two where you're going to have two kids within 14 months, correct?
That is correct. Yeah, next one's coming
luck with the diapers,
on the
dude.
9th. What?
I've got two kids 13 months and 9 days apart. Good luck with the
wow.
diapers. It's such
So
a shock when you come home and you've been changing a newborn's diaper for about 3 to 4 days, and you come home and you change your kid's diaper. You're like, whoa, what the hell happened? It's crazy. It literally blows your mind.
It's gonna be
pretty
wild
cool.
because Shay was a lot smaller when we brought her home. She was tiny. She was 6 pounds 12 ounces, and this one's gonna be born 5 weeks early, and that means like really, really tiny. So it's gonna be weird seeing a kid even smaller than the kid that I thought was already small. It's gonna be fascinating. I can't wait. I'm excited.
Yeah,
Dad.
I hope I don't get booted with the time limit. I hope I don't get booted with the time limit.
Minute 40. I'm done
it's
talking.
amazing.
So
My kid was 6 pounds 5 ounces, and my second kid was 6 pounds 5 ounces. And when I came home, I was just like, it was amazing how much he grew. But anyways, the few things that I wanted to bring up, it was just released. Jay Mosley was ranked number 46 out of the top 100 NFL players. That's number one. Number two, you should bring your golf bag to Jets training camp and see if you can get your golf bag signed by Aaron Rodgers. That'd be amazing.
I wonder
Number
if they
three,
would let me in
for
with
the past 15 years, I've been saying, when is someone gonna? Good.
I have a stealth driver like this green, like either my driver or putter. I think it would be cool if I did it with the putter, but I don't know if they'd let me bring a putter into Jets camp. Maybe they would. I'll have to ask someone.
Hey, you talk to Richie. He's got a connection there.
Oh yeah, I know. Richie always hooks it up. I just don't know if they're going to let me through security. They're going to be like, you with the putter. What are you trying to do with that?
But well, the other 2 points I wanted to make is MC2 said last week that when Hardman came in, that they were talking about Super Bowl, the Chiefs every year. And that's what they're doing now. And it's just amazing to see that. Last thing before I get booted, if you listen to Aaron Rodgers, he specifically says, keep my coaches' names, plural, out of your mouth. He doesn't say singular because someone said, would he stick up for Robert Saleh and do the same thing? And he said names, plural.
Yeah, I think he did. That's a great point, Ryan. Thank you so much for the call. You've been ejected from the cockpit. So great points there. I don't know if Rodgers would sign my golf bag. I also don't want to carry my golf bag that far. Putter is probably the right way to go. Got TaylorMade mini. No, not mini. TaylorMade Spider GT putter. Jet green, etched in Jets on the head of the club. If Rodgers would sign my club, I would totally bring. I'd have him sign the top of it. So every time I'm putting, I'm looking at Aaron Rodgers' signature. That's what I want. Rodgers, if you're watching this, I know you are. Come on. Got Tigo joining the show. Tigo, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. How are you? It's been a while.
Dude, I miss you. I don't have my double screen worked up, so I'm not going to throw you on here visually right now.
It's whatever. You ready, man? We're in the final stretch. We're in the final stretch of not just like the season, but I mean like
kids.
Baby 2 is on the way. We went to the
I got Baby 2
to the
coming on the
doctor.
9th. What is Baby 2 for you still the same due date?
Nope. Well, okay. So we're going on a tentative no because every measurement that we're getting from him is showing that she's like 36 weeks, but like everything that we know is that she's 34 weeks. So it's
you got a big baby?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Like for a 34-week-old, he's a big baby.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where we're just like, I'm thinking we're having an August baby because we were ready for like a September baby. Like obviously like we're going to the home opener and it's just like well our due date was September 10th and I was just like, oh my God, what happens if? But it's like now it's like, oh, we're gonna have I'm thinking we're having an August baby, so I'm excited.
Dude, I think you're probably in the same boat as me, and I saw Becca like this stream. I don't know if she's still sitting in it, but like when we found out the baby was coming earlier, as long as health was all fine, health should be 100% fine on baby too. But baby's coming. Our due date was September 13th, so Tigo and I were like right there, 10th and 13th, and we're like, oh, we don't know if we're gonna be able to go to week 1 because we're gonna have kids right around then. Our wives are gonna kill us if we go. And we both bought tickets, and we're like, okay, it's gonna be, if we can't go, it's no shame because one of us we're doing the dad thing. And now both our kids are potentially coming in August. Mine's definitely coming in August. Yours very well could be coming
more
in
than
August.
more than likely coming in August.
And the football gods have told us we must go to week 1. That's what I'm being told.
Absolutely. And the thing is I've planned it out. I'm gonna be gone for 22 hours exactly. I get back home.
Perfect.
So it's just like I get there game day, I go straight to the stadium. I'm trying to find a driveway I can park because I got to be back at LaGuardia at 6 a.m. because I'm back in Florida at 9. Like I'm not missing any time, especially now with a wife with a newborn and then a 1-year-old.
Your wife is a saint. I want you to know that. But there's no shot in hell. If I told Becca, I'm going to go fly down to Miami for a game and it's going to be a few weeks after you just had a kid, she'd be like, not happening. Not happening.
She bought the tickets. My wife, she found out when the home opener was, she did everything. She was like, here's your car rental. Here's the flight. You're going. Cause she's just like, the Jets are such a big part of my life. She was like, there's no way you're going to miss Aaron Rodgers. Before I get out of here, before we just sit here, just talk dad stuff, which is always fun. I'll drop this on you and I want to hear your thoughts on this because you mentioned it a little bit earlier and I'm totally on board with this. I'm actually making a video about this exact idea is that while Dalvin Cook is nice, I don't think the running back room is the problem. I'm starting after Garrett Wilson went down. Our wide receiver room looks mid AF and I'm starting to sit here and look at some guys like it's not free agency, but there are some guys that might be available in a trade. And I'm thinking that might be the better way to go. Not focus in the running back room, but go and getting another premier pass rusher because I'm really worried about the depth at wide receiver not named Garrett Wilson. Yeah.
Pass catcher is what you meant instead of
pass catcher, not pass rusher. No.
Yeah. So I do tend to agree with you. I would say I'm more likely to wait until in season to make a trade for that receiver. Like if that's a Mike Evans or something like that in the event one of our guys goes down. Like I don't want to trade right now for someone because I really do like our wide receiver room. And I think if you have a healthy Corey Davis for all 17 games, I think he's actually better than Lazard. Lazard's been dropping a lot of balls in practice. I'm not feeling great about that. Mecole Hardman has been legit. I think Hardman and Garrett are the two I'm most excited for. And then like I would say Lazard and Davis are both like, I'm looking forward to him. But like from what I've seen out of Hardman, that guy is blazing fast.
Electric.
Tigo, I love you, brother. We'll be talking. Take it easy. You've been ejected from the cockpit. You guys don't follow Talking Jets with Tigo. You totally should. I've got David, then Christopher, then Jonathan. And I got King Lowski again. Ooh, interesting. I'm going to hop over to James real fast. James says, might be a mistake, Ryan. You'll grow to hate Aaron Rodgers after a few shanked putts. Oh, man. If I get him to sign my putter and all of it, well, I'm going to blame the shanked putts on me because I'm not the best golfer. I just run a golf course. Not really any qualifications other than like, hey, I know how to make things run. That's about it. Shanked putts? Yeah, I could blame it on Rodgers. Sure. Rodgers, if you're watching, you want a free round of golf, hit your boy up. I'll hook you up. I'll have my people call your people, even though your people probably won't pick up the phone. All right. We got David joining the show. David, how you doing tonight?
Hey, Ryan. Thanks a lot for having me on your show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, dude.
I just got to be straight with you. I had another one or two Jets YouTube channels. They were my guys, but once you put that Sean Payton video up, you rose up those ranks because you hit it on the nail. And I think they were a little bit soft on the reply, and I like how you were saying screw this guy and
dude fired up.
fired up. You got me fired up. I was about to take a nap, and I saw your live stream, and I'm pumped up right now. Uh, and I just got to say, like, I actually was a big Russell. I've been a Jets fan, most of my life, and at the very distant second, I kind of liked Russell Wilson for a while when he was in Seattle because I went to
Sure.
USC and I was a Pete Carroll guy. And
Yep.
the Jets sucked, so
Pete
I
Carroll
could
was
at
Jets
least
head
have.
coach. I like Pete Carroll.
Yeah, and USC head coach. And so when the Jets would go to shit, I'd have a team to kind of root for in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
But now once he went to Denver and kind of this whole, and I've never liked the Broncos, so all the stars have aligned for me to say fuck Russell Wilson, fuck the Denver Broncos, and fuck Sean Payton. You know what I'm saying? It's like, seriously, keep our coaches' names with an S out your mouths. These guys are a joke. The guy's a hypocrite with a bounty hunter, and I can't wait to put a 60 burger on these guys. A 60 burger. You know what I
Dude,
mean?
I guarantee these players are coming out fired up. Like, you don't think Rodgers is going to try and send a statement message that game? It's going
Oh
to be
my God.
over.
Oh my God. I've never been so pumped up as a Jets fan. I've never been there. I've always, been expecting, okay, don't get excited, Sam Darnold, USC, all that. Now I'm like actually legitimately excited. I want to say, I got this hat on. I know only you could see me, but I'm going to show you this. Look, I'm putting my construction Jets hat on
Oh,
because
I love it.
we're about to go to work. You want to talk about your Psalms, and you want to talk about John 3:16. Well, Rodgers 3:16 says, "I just whipped your ass." How about that? I'm flying over from Los Angeles to MetLife Stadium. First game, I'm going straight up. I'm in LA. Real fan. Check this out right here. You know what I'm
He's
saying?
got the
This is how we
tattoo
do.
with the old swoosh.
That's how we do. You've risen up my ranks. You got my love, man. I'm super excited. You know what I'm saying? Let's do this thing, baby. Jets, Jets,
Jets.
and the home
Ah!
of the Jets.
David! I
That's
love
what's
it.
up, baby.
Woo!
Thank you, bro.
You've been ejected. David, bring in the fire. I love this fan base being fired up at Sean Payton. It is like refreshing. I love talking shit too. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big shit talker, and the Jets haven't been good the entire time I've been using this platform to talk about the Jets. And now we're finally in a spot where I could talk some smack, and then someone starts throwing shade our way. Psh, Sean Payton, sit your ass down. Christopher, how you doing, brother?
Yes.
Welcome to the cockpit.
Yep. Thank you for having me on the show. There's two things I wanna touch on, and the
Sure.
first thing is the Dalvin Cook rumors and stuff. Yeah, we are probably gonna sign him, but I just don't know, man. I watched this film last year, and he just doesn't have the speed, the agility, the burst, the vision that he had in past years. And I watched that full Giants Vikings playoff game, and that season the Giants historically had a horrible rushing defense, and it's not like he was a non-factor in it. So
They have a really good offensive line too for the Vikings. Like there's a lot of
yeah.
concerning stats, particularly the expected yards was an interesting stat that I came across. I don't know if it was Nania that was sharing it or someone, but the one of the worst in expected yards is not a great stat for a running back, especially when you're in your like year 6 or whatever he is. They start to trend down. Like, I would not fault Joe Douglas for not going after this. It might be a ploy to get the Dolphins to spend more.
Yes. The second thing I want to touch on is the Aaron Rodgers signing and stuff. And I know every single other Jets fan went ballistic about it. I was a little hyped too, but we extended him for 2 years, and he's gonna be 40 by then, right? About
He's 40 at the end of this year, so he's 39. I believe December is when he turns 40.
So 41. For 2 years we're basically gonna be Super Bowl contenders, but I just don't see it. Yes, we have Garrett Wilson, we have the defense, we have everything, but if Garrett Wilson gets injured like he did in training camp, we really don't have that much depth at receiver. And yeah,
It's hard to replace a number one wide receiver. I feel like Lazard and Davis are both number two at best wide receivers. I feel like McCole Hardman is a slot receiver that's going to be featured a lot this year. Like I think he's going to be I think he's going to replace that Elijah Moore type role. But
yes,
if you lose a Garrett Wilson, I think that's what Rodgers was talking about with if you could make a trade in season with someone. I think it's more so receiver if someone goes down.
Yes, but what you said about Corey Davis, I don't really know about Corey Davis. Like, he was showing like in a Zach Wilson like first year. I get it, Zach Wilson, but I don't really know about Corey Davis. I don't think he's that good. McCole Hardman, yes, he was a really good receiver for the Chiefs, really good slot guy or whatever.
He's been looking good at camp though. Like
he has.
Of the receivers I've been watching, like he has popped off the page. Christopher, you've been ejected from the cockpit. We got Jonathan joining the show. Jonathan, how you doing tonight?
Good. Yourself?
I'm hanging in there. I'm enjoying talking to everyone. The energy is real. The fan base is fired up. Tell me what's on your mind.
I really don't think we need to be worried about our wide receiver room, to be honest. We have a lot of depth. I mean, a great addition like Devontae Adams would be nice. I mean, would make our offense, bring it to the next level, of course, but I don't think it's a necessity at this point. I don't think Garrett Wilson's injury is really that important or that dramatic. I think he's going to be okay. He's going to be ready week one. And Corey Davis is good, honestly. I mean, he's going to be great with Aaron Rodgers. And then you have McCole
really
Hardman.
like Corey Davis. On the offensive side of the ball, like he's probably my most like high upside guy. Like if there's a breakout season, it's Corey Davis on the offensive side, and I think it's JJ on the defensive side.
Yeah. Honestly, if we need to sign anybody, it might be just some linebacker depth. It may be just something like that because our offense is great. Same thing goes with running back. We don't need another running back, but it would be nice and it would put us to another level if we added one, but we don't need it. We just drafted a running back. Michael Carter's a good running back. Breece Hall is projected to be ready relatively soon, and you don't need to rush him back because we have pretty good depth.
So you think linebacker would be the spot we need to focus on more than any other spot?
Bring back Quan, maybe get some.
Well, Quan just signed. Quan's in Pittsburgh now. We just lost him. Was it yesterday? Yesterday or 2 days ago? Yeah.
I've been working too much. Okay, so
that's all right. I almost missed it. I was like scrolling through my feed and I was like, oh no, we lost.
So we need to get some linebacking depth. In all honesty, I mean Quincy's going to be great. CJ Mosley's going to be great. So you have no worry there. And with the defense we run, you really don't need too many more linebackers, but you just need backup. You need more backup. And I mean, maybe if you want to get another corner as depth, no one that's going to trump what we have now, but depth. Because
I think our depth is so good at corner. I mean, you're talking just our starters are probably the best in the league in Sauce, MC2, and Reed. And then behind them, you got Eccles and Hall. Like I think Hall could potentially be trade bait. I don't know. I really like. And then you still got Eccles. I think right. He's still in there. So you got.
Do you have someone that can play special teams in that room?
There is. Well, I don't know. Right. Like so. Does Eccles show up as a gunner on special teams? I don't know if he does. I mean, you have Justin Hardy. He's technically a corner or a defensive back, and he's a gunner on special teams. And you're probably going to use like wide receiver 6 as your kick returner. So I guess whoever's on that other side. I'm pretty excited
about safety too. Those safeties.
Dude, Tony Adams is good.
Maybe we just really need to bulk up some special teams too. Maybe just defense, some special teams, a little bit of O-line, and that's about it.
Dude, how nice is it to finally have a kicker? Like Zerline has been crushing it in camp. I was trying to like get every one of his kicks, like trying to watch what each distance was. It was kind of tough, like from the vantage point we're sitting at. And he didn't have enough leg on the 63. It was weird. The kick didn't really go like as far as you would have wanted to go either. Like I don't even know if it would have been good from 55. It was a very weird kick. But it's nice to feel confident about him and Morstead on the special teams side of things.
That's awesome. That is good to have because kicking, I mean, it's great. I mean, you look at the Chiefs when Buckner came back healthy, it made a difference. So having one would make a difference.
And then, you're out of here.
You've been ejected from the cockpit. Crossfire jumps in, says 263 viewers, only 79 likes. Come on, people. 79 likes. Maybe 179 likes? I see 197 on my side. But either way, I would love you guys to hit the like button if you are enjoying the stream. We're going to hop over to Patrick. Patrick, how you doing tonight?
Good.
Talk to me. What's on your mind?
I was here to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going all the way, baby, this year. Let's go, Pittsburgh!
Ejected!
You're out of here!
Go for it, Pittsburgh. Why not? I don't got anything against you. I just don't think your quarterback has big enough hands to hold on to the ball the entire time. We got someone coming back on that you guys liked last time. Mr. Lowski, how you doing?
Hey Ryan, man. Hey, I'm sorry, man. I don't mean to oversaturate your show, man, because I know you do a great job, man. Let me tell you something, man. First of all, man, let me tell something to that guy, Chris. Okay? I can feel your passion for trying to be a Jet fan, my guy, but you was a little bit too negative. Let me tell you something, guy. We ain't got no injuries to be worried about. Our receiving room is deep. It's very deep. You feel what I'm saying? McCole Hartman, and he has the safety blanket, Randall Cobb, if anything, my guy. All right? And don't forget, Aaron Rodgers likes to use his tight ends. So Conklin will be a big part of the offense this year. All right? Let's not forget that Robert Tonyan was a big part of Green Bay, wasn't he? Okay, then. So I don't want to hear nothing about our receiving core, my guy. It's going to be some of the best things you've seen as a Jet fan, my guy. So just pump your brakes a little bit, all right? For that Steelers fan, let me tell you something, my guy. We kicked your ass last year. Don't come in this chat trying to get us all riled up, my guy. Pittsburgh ain't got nothing on us, my boy. We whooped your ass last year, all right? With bad quarterback play. Huh? What you say, Ryan? That quarterback can't hold the ball, can he? Huh?
Nah, little tiny hands. You got baby hands. He can't hold a whopper.
Yeah, come on, man. Come on, man. Get out of here with that bullshit, man. We ain't got time for that bullshit, man. All right? It's Jets, Jets in this bitch. You heard? Straight up, man.
Damn right. Lowski, I'm ejecting you. I love you. That was the bonus minute and the 30 seconds. The energy. Oh. I'm feeling it. Throw some JETS in there. Love having it. The fire. All right, let's see. We got about 10 minutes left. So let's do this. Let's hop over to the chat. We'll conversate in the chat for this last little bit here. Let's see. Love Bites. It says Adams would be nice, but not a necessity. LOL, without Garrett Wilson, that wide receiver room is mid AF. The only way, or the only ray of hope, would be wide receiver 2 with wide receiver 1 upside is Brownlee, because we already know what these other guys are. Brownlee's an exciting player to have. He's kind of like the player we were hoping Mims would be, but he's got to like earn his stripes because he's an undrafted free agent. I saw today that Robert Saleh was saying they were looking at Brownlee at some point in the, was it the 6th round? 5th or 6th round? I don't think that it makes sense. I don't know. I don't want to add, I understand wanting to add a wide receiver. I don't want to add a wide receiver right now. I would say if we lose someone, if you lose a Lazard, if you lose a Davis, if you lose a Garrett Wilson, then you make a move. Is there a wide receiver out there right now that you feel the need to pull the trigger on that you wouldn't be able to get at a later time? I think that's more my interesting conundrum, because I don't particularly want to see it right now. But I do agree, it does get concerning. If Garrett goes down, if you lose any number 1 wide receiver, pick any number 1 wide receiver in the NFL, it's going to hurt that team drastically. Like, maybe you argue Cincinnati, like they could lose someone, they'll still keep ticking, but that's, I mean, if you lost to Jamar Chase, that changed the dynamic of that entire offense, even with everyone that's over there. So hopefully just everyone stays healthy and we don't have to worry about this. Find myself holding my breath. Ryan Jett says Pittsburgh. That's why they got the yellow on their hats, right? Oh, Finn's fan. He hops in. He says Jets won't go nowhere. Still bottom feeders. You know what's... Well, I guess Dolphins aren't necessarily bottom feeders, but they're a lot closer to the bottom than a Jet is. The Jet's flying in the sky, dude. We are high as a kite. It's all right. I'm sure you and Noodle Arm 2 are going to go real far. Jin Pak says, do we fear another bounty gate from Sean Payton? Oh, man, if he did that, he'd probably get removed from the league entirely. Like, you would lose your job immediately if that were to happen. I don't think he's that dumb. If he is, you'd see players like a lot of people be upset. I mean, if you took out, I'm just going to say it's not happening. Not going to happen. Crossfire hops in. He says, Ramsey is out for 4 months. Oh, I didn't see that. I saw it was going to be like a few weeks, but 4 months. That's so, what are we talking? We're talking August, September, October, November. So he should be back. His first game back might be our first game against Miami, because I think our first game is Black Friday with them. And then is it like 2 or 3 weeks after that is the other Miami game? I would like to see Miami at full strength, and I'd like to play them at their peak, because I don't want to have this whole excuse of like, oh, well, you know, we could have beat you if Teddy Bridgewater had been in, or if Tua had been in, even though we bottled up Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. I understand. Miami fans should be excited. Cautiously optimistic, but excited. They're in a similar boat to us. I just have more faith that our quarterback's going to start more games than they probably believe. I would bet most Miami fans are nervous about their quarterback situation. Ryan King says, did you see Pinnock's one-handed interception in Giants practice? I did not. I'll have to take a look. I like Pinnock. I was surprised when Pinnock was cut for Tony Adams, or released or whatever. I was very surprised. And now seeing how Tony Adams is playing, very happy. Coach has obviously made the right move. Cuca Lake says, what is the Adams cap hit next season? $17 million. Does it actually make sense to go after him? Davis and Hardman off the books next offseason, so there's close to $14 million. I would like to believe they bring back Hardman after playing really well. I would like to believe that's like he would want to continue to stay in this area. But who knows? We'll see where that goes. As far as Adams in general, I think it's easier for the Raiders to trade him. Again, I don't know if I see McDaniels like helping the Jets out in any capacity. But maybe McDaniels is gone and some other head coach is like, yeah, we got to trade Adams away. Or they get rid of McDaniels and they're like, all right, let's get someone that like players don't hate right now. Fungus Mungus says, crazy how Dolphins Bills fans think they are better than the Jets. Right now, I'm okay not saying the Jets are better. I am okay with the Jets having to earn it. I don't mind other teams' fans talking shit right now. I can sit back and I can wait. I'm excited. It's not going to change my optimism on our season. But I can honestly sit back and say, we need to earn it. Now, when fans are saying like, oh, the Patriots have beaten you 14 times in a row, or whatever the hell the number is at this point, or the Dolphins are like, oh, you know, this many games in a row. Well, it's like, okay, but like you also faced Zach Wilson last year. So grain of salt, maybe. Like you can't say like, oh, we got all these guys on our roster. Just wait till we show you. Like you haven't lost, you haven't beaten us in so long. Like, all right, that's great, but like you're kind of leaving out a big factor of like we have our two best offensive players in Breece Hall and AVT back, and you add Aaron Rodgers, who at the very least is definitely better than Zach Wilson. Like I don't know where Rodgers is at this point in his career. Maybe he is on the downslope, and maybe he is average, but average is like infinitely better than like beyond worst in the NFL. So for people to just kind of like poo-poo the Aaron Rodgers signing and just be like, the Jets are no one. We beat up on Buffalo without our top three offensive players in Corey Davis, Breece Hall, and AVT. And Zach Wilson threw for 150 yards and we beat them. Like you're telling me Aaron Rodgers and a full healthy complement of weapons isn't going to like hang with any team in the NFL? I think they're sadly mistaken. There's a reason why humans are the dominant species on this planet and dolphins are stuck in the water. Not quite as smart as you thought. Justin says, is the 65% condition on the Jets pick only for the regular season or including playoffs? It's definitely only regular season. There's no way they're going to be like, oh, well, the Jets didn't make the Super Bowl or they missed the playoffs and Rodgers played like every, however much percentage of the games, but now you're eliminating 4 games at the end of the season. It's not going to work like that. But I do think, I think it's going to be an easy thing for him to hit. I think he's definitely going to play all the games. Omar, Ryan, thank you and Richie for going to training camps and covering the teams from your perspective and the positive vibes coming from your videos. Of course, Richie does a really great job with his training camp breakdowns, and then I tend to at least during training camp, I'm just filming plays and just tweeting them out. And you're not really supposed to do that, but oops. I guess I don't know. Yeah, no, it's been fun. I like going to camp with Richie. We've gone to camp now together 3 times. Once last year and twice this year, and we should be going again these next 2 Saturdays and Sundays. Or not 2 Saturdays and Sundays, Saturday and Sunday. And then hopefully there's going to be 3 more practices with the Bucks. Hopefully we get to go to those as well. Baby 2 is coming quick though. So I kind of have to maneuver. I'm not going to fully commit that I'm going to both days because if something pops up, I can't. But I'm hoping to be there both days with Richie because I do have a ticket. Oh, Vince Van, you acted like Tua ain't undefeated against your franchise. Do you think there's some little bits missing here? Do you think there might be a few players that might be a little different than the last time you played the Jets? That's okay. You can have your fun. He says Tua's not missing more than 3 games. In September? Or all season? Because I hate to break it to you. Dude probably shouldn't have stepped back on the football field. He should have retired. And that's a God's honest truth. I told TD Finstock the same thing. I was like, if I was Tua, I would have retired. I would have sued the NFL for $500 million. The fact that you're risking your life for this game is, I don't believe that's a smart move. Hopefully he's fine. I do want to see Tua make it every single game because I want to beat you at your best. I don't want you guys hamstrung. I want you at you at your best, us at our best. Let's settle it on the field. Yusuf says, can't wait till Jets versus Browns. Either Sauce or DJ cover Elijah Moore. I hope we beat up Elijah Moore. I hope he doesn't get a friggin' yard. I don't care if anyone else scores on us, but just Elijah Moore, I want him to just have a miserable time. I really want, I should say, I want the Browns to have a miserable time. I wanted Deshaun Watson in the worst way prior to all those allegations coming out, and I really despise Watson right now. I think he's just a shit human being. But I very, very much am excited for the Browns game. There's a lot of games that I'm I find myself circling. It's oh yeah, week 1, circled. Week 2, $1 billion playpen. Oh yeah, not prime time, but $1 billion playpen. Got to circle it. Oh, week 3, Patriots, circle it. Chiefs, prime time, circle it. Oh, Denver now, Sean Payton's talking shit, circle it. Eagles, let's see where we stack up, circle it. like every single week. Dude, I'm fired up for every game. Feels good. Love Conquers All says, are the Packers still in the back of Rodgers' head? He did text Love, so I still think it is. It should be. He spent 18 years there. He doesn't have any distaste for the Packers. He probably has more for Mark Murphy, the GM. That's where I think some of the disdain is as far as the fans and the team. I'm sure he hopes they do well. Maybe not so much this season because maybe a little slanted, but I don't think. I think Rodgers obviously changed his number. He had a very great. I thought his not speech, but how he addressed the fan base before he was saying, "Okay, I'm going to go play for the Jets." I thought that was a real stand-up act. I think he's done a lot of really good things. I do think that Green Bay will always be in the back of his mind. I don't think there's really any way that, let's say the Jets were to win 2 Super Bowls. There's no way New York trumps Green Bay, I don't think. I mean, we're going to be friggin' pumped and we're going to build him a statue and we're going to say he should totally go into the Hall of Fame as a Jet. But he'll always love the Packers. Oh, Dan, I saw this. Was this? Yeah. This was the one from Woody, right? Dan says, Ryan, I just won the signed Sauce Legacy jersey that Woody Johnson was giving. Oh, duh. Yeah, see, if I read the read the whole comment, I know it's there. I liked it. If you look at your likes on your post, I did like that post. I thought that was awesome. That is exciting. Ty says, Ryan, quit giving these weird motherfuckers some other team shine. They're like a parasite. You feed it, they won't go away. That's right. I have no problem with other teams' fans coming in here, talking a little smack. Let's knock them down a few pegs. Sports are all about like the animosity and the vitriol between fan bases. Like I feel like sports are at their best when there's a little bit of hate. Like as much as I like the safety aspect of football and things like that, when I think back to like really good watching sports, I'm thinking like jacked up. I'm thinking, Yankees versus Red Sox clearing the bullpens out, like, or the, clearing out the bleachers, whatever they're called, dugout. Like, that's what I want to see. I want to see vitriol. I want people to be upset. I want them to be angry. I want them to absolutely I don't like players liking each other. I want our players to hate Patriot players and Dolphin players and Bills players like the same amount that I hate them. I know it's hard to have that. But I really hope that's what happens. All right, boys and girls. I didn't even realize we were at that 10 o'clock point. We're at 10:03. It's a lot of fun. Let me run through some of my thoughts and the highlights real quick. Give you my thoughts, then we'll head on out of here. Sean Payton, go kick rocks, pound sand, take a long walk off a short pier. We're going to hang 60 on your ass. Aaron Rodgers having our coaches back, taking less money. He's endearing himself to this fan base. He's doing everything the right way. Fucking love it. Dalvin Cook, I don't know if he's going to end up signing here. I really don't. I think he enjoyed practice. I think it would be to his benefit and to the Jets' benefit to make it appear as though the Jets want to sign him, regardless of if we get him or not. Because I don't view the running back position for the Jets as a weakness. Breece Hall is better than Dalvin Cook. You're talking about a backup running back is what we're talking about bringing in. If we get our division rival to pay a little bit more for him, that's fine. I'm okay with that. I have no problem with that. Heck, the Tyreek Hill thing worked out pretty well for the New York Jets. Remember, if the Jets had made that trade for Tyreek Hill, there is no Garrett Wilson, there is no Jermaine Johnson, there is no Breece Hall. So, if you're telling me, would I rather have those three players or Tyreek Hill? The answer is those three players. Now, it's a big gamble. Don't get me wrong. But Dalvin Cook, whether he's here or not, it's to our benefit to at least make it appear like the Jets are serious buyers on him. Joe Tittman. Sal thinks he may not, maybe implies that Tittman's not going to start this year. I was really hoping to see him earn the starting spot. Maybe we see that happen over these next 2 weeks of training camp and, preseason games. But it does not shock me that Rodgers wants a veteran center at center. I don't think it's going to be West. I think it's going to be McGovern. I think McGovern's going to be our starter for this year. And then as far as Devontae Adams, pipe dream, I think, for right now. I think if you lose Garrett Wilson or you lose a wide receiver and you feel like you just need to add that little bit of a boost, then I think maybe at the trade deadline, if the Raiders are really going south, you can have a conversation. But I would think the Raiders would want at least a first-round pick, and now you're talking about the Jets giving up the 2025 first, which I don't think is a wise move. I would not give up that pick. I would hold on to my first at this point. Now, if you could talk hey, we'll give you a second-round pick in Corey Davis or something along those lines, or, maybe it's an edge rusher or something like that. Someone that maybe I don't want to give up players, though. I'd rather give up draft picks. I just don't want to give up the first. I think Adams is probably more likely after this season when the Raiders can move off of him and split his cap over 2 years. That's my guess. But guys, it's been a lot of fun hanging out with you tonight. There's a lot that we're going to get into tomorrow on the Talking Jets panel. For those of you guys that don't know, we're going to be over on the Talking Jets channel. 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Myself, O'Leary, Green Bean. We're going to be talking about everything we did at training camp and all the trending topics around the New York Jets. Boys and girls, if you enjoyed what you saw here tonight, please hit that like button. It does go a long way for discoverability for the channel. And if you'd like to see this plane take off a little bit more, It'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for spending your time here tonight. This is Jets Talk signing off. Jets.
Jets!